It's been 4 years since the USA Lawyer series played its last episode, but its viewership is alive and well on Netflix. What makes this lawyer show stand out? Let's dig in. Every lawyer show since Perry Mason hassled Hamilton Berger has focused on a particularly sensational lawyer who has some version of unorthodox methods that tends to find the truth in 47 minutes. If you're doing the math on Perry Mason's recurring district attorney's name, you heard right. Hamilton Berger. Hamburger. No foils hiding the names of fast food on Suits. Instead, it centers on an arrogant, self-centered lawyer, Harvey Specter, who just made senior partner at a firm that only hires from Harvard, but instead hires a fast-thinking Mike Ross, who just so happens to have an eidetic memory and passed the bar on a bet. The eidetic memory just means he's a walking library, but Ross ends up in front of Specter because his keen eye and quick thinking kept him from being arrested for the briefcase of marijuana he was delivering for a friend. It's the ultimate American fantasy, to be secret untapped talent plucked from the streets to the world of success. Procedurals run on a heavy dose of jargon, and while Suits isn't specifically a procedural in that it doesn't revolve around a case of the week, but rather a workplace drama that focuses on the inter-office relationships, that workplace is still a lawyer's office. Lawyers are maybe second only to the military in how molasses thick the jargon is. Thanks to the outsider premise, Ross can act as an audience surrogate who has to have the pertinent bits explained and let the unimportant ones go. Beyond that, though, is the relationships. The hustler fish out of water paired with the fast-talking closer provides for lively dialogue. Mix that in with the oily Louis Litt, the underappreciated paralegal and top-notch researcher, beleaguered assistant Donna Paulson, and the head of the firm, Jessica Pearson, all make for a potent cocktail of competent, quick-witted people constantly trying to outmaneuver each other that makes for quality banter that remains fresh season after season. It's not just banter that makes the characters fun. While the initial premise revolves around Mike and his unconventional approach having not gone to law school, the show quickly found its star in Harvey Specter, who walks the line between scoundrel and champion. His character evolves throughout the seasons as the people around him influence his behavior. Each of the supporting characters each have their own depth and life within the show that gives the long-running drama legs. Louis Lott's relationships push the character out of just being an office rival. Rachel's own journey, paired with her relationship arc with Mike, made her more than just a romantic interest while giving the romantic tension between Donna and Harvey. It's a parade of solid characters. Maybe you hadn't heard much about Suits, or the names of its stars didn't ring any bells, but by now you've almost certainly heard of Meghan Markle. While she may be Rachel Zane on the show, in the real world, she now has the role of Duchess of Sussex. That's the title granted to her when she married Prince Harry and became part of the British royal family. Like Grace Kelly, Princess of Monaco, the mixture of royalty and Hollywood has been a non-stop content creator for tabloids and royal watchers. Harry and Meghan made even bigger headlines when they rage-quit royal life in England to live the de facto royal life in California. Harry stepped down from his royal duties along with his wife and decided to forge his own path, which is a lot easier to do when you're a former royal power couple. If you missed the show that helped make her a star the first time around but got caught up in her royal drama, the show on Netflix is your opportunity to see what the hubbub was about. Serialized television is all the rage these days, telling a single story over the course of a season or series. It takes the place of the more traditional episodic television, where each episode is a self-contained story and change among the characters is slow and rare. A subset of episodic television is the procedural. Like its name suggests, it covers the procedural steps in a profession, the well-stocked lawyer, doctor, cop genre. Shows like Law & Order or CSI and its various spin-offs are driven by a new mystery every week, and the inventive ways the characters solve it. Unlike a normal episodic or serialized show, the characters' personalities are front and center, and their personal lives manage at best as a so-called B story. While Suits is a lawyer show, it was pitched as a non-procedural, instead focusing on the office politics and personal lives of the lawyers. But they're still lawyers, and lawyers solve cases. It's that kind of best-of-all-worlds convergence that makes the show watchable season over season. Come for the clever lawyering and court cases, stay for the romance. Romantically, the show is initially built around Mike and Rachel's budding romance, and that succeeds in creating a satisfying road to that big yes. There's a longer, more winding road between Harvey and Donna while they date other people throughout the series before coming together. What's better is, consistent with the whole show, it's a matter of competent people who are exceptional at what they're doing, and while romance is a bumpy road for anyone, they're still exceptional. In 1994, a hardcore comic book fan and register jockey from New Jersey made a black and white film about clerks and how little they enjoy their lives. What helped make the film stand out, as well as its writer and director, is that the dialogue was dripping in pop culture references, as filmmaker Kevin Smith was depicting his own pop culture existence. Before, by and large, the standard was to sort of pretend that TV and movies don't exist in the characters' lives. But in the real world, pop culture permeates our lives and is weaved into our conversations.
Gone with the Wind?
No.
Citizen Kane?
No.
Dirty Dancing.
Nobody puts baby
I
in the
can't
corner.
believe-
Since then, the art of pop culture references has taken off and become an art form all to itself, with there being a too much and a too little, and perhaps worst of all, unmotivated. Pop cultural references give the characters a sense that they live in our world, but Suits manages to use them to reveal story and character, both in the kind of references they make and what they reference. The shame of it all is somewhere out in the world, there was probably an aspiring writer, or a few, who had a polished spec pilot about high-end tailors called Suits, and they had to change the name. Names are hard.